Hi, welcome
Hi.
to the Entrepreneur Station. Entrepreneur Station runs a weekly interview video with the entrepreneurs over the world to uncover the secret how the entrepreneur managed the uncertainty in their entrepreneur action. So today we have John deTar, who is a CEO of ROIx. Hi, John.
Hi.
Hi,
Good
how are
morning.
you?
Great.
Great. Yeah, so my first question is, so I know you have several startup of your own. So could you give me a brief introduction of your company that you found?
My startups go way back to 19. My startups go back to 1988, 89, believe it or not.
Hmm.
Things like the purchasing of the America's Cup, to things like creating an inflatable company, and then eventually the first internet business in 1997,
Hmm.
96, 97. Company called Interview, which did extremely well, and we took public and sold for $2.8 billion. So I've had very successful and
Hmm.
some that are not successful. My current one is in Brazil. So I live in São Paulo,
Yeah.
and we have a company called ROIx, and that company was started as a private network, but now has three pillars that we'll kind of get into in the conversation. So I've been doing this startup for about 4.5 years now,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of moving from being a startup to being a fairly established company in this market now.
Okay, awesome. So it is said that like starting a new business involves lots of vulnerability and uncertainty in its like
Yes.
especially in its formative years. So my question is, what was more significant uncertainty that you have in your early stage of startup?
Well, I think it's startups have a whole number of uncertainties. Everybody has good ideas, and those ideas they want to figure out how to activate them. Usually, you have to find a way to get moving. Most things that paralyze entrepreneurs is they don't get their feet moving. They keep thinking they have to have the perfect idea, when
Mm-hmm.
the reality is they need the movement to figure out
Mm-hmm.
what makes that idea work. So the uncertainty is one in the idea. Second biggest uncertainty is usually, how am I going to fund this?
Mm.
How am I going to bring the money in?
Yeah.
Who should I ask? Should I ask family members? Do I have enough myself? Do I have enough to go and talk to angel investors? Um, the money is a big issue and an uncertainty
Mm-hmm.
as
Mm-hmm.
well. And then most startups don't make it, so you have to try several times
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, or maybe you get lucky on the first one. My situation, I've had a few that have been very successful and a few
Mm-hmm.
that unsuccessful, and have had to close. So
Mm-hmm.
there's always uncertainty right until you finish and sell your company, or
Mm-hmm.
you move it on to something else. There's always uncertainty.
Mm-hmm.
But the biggest uncertainty typically comes from getting going. How do I get moving? How
Mm-hmm.
many people do I need? And how am I going to fund it?
Mm-hmm. I see. So you mentioned the movement
Yes.
movement and the funding issue. So if you can rate the level of uncertainty that you feel, that you perceive, then how much would you give out of 10?
Well, I'm always a 10.
Oh, right.
That's what really makes
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneurs move.
Mm-hmm.
If we feel like we're secure, we don't move fast enough. Today's market is about speed.
Mm-hmm.
You have to run faster than the big boys can run. And you
Mm-hmm.
have to take your idea and you have to be able to maneuver it. You have to know what north is, where north is, and where you're trying to head. But
Mm-hmm.
many times you have to head east and west several times as an entrepreneur in order to get north. So
Mm-hmm.
your uncertainty is always there.
Yeah.
And the market's changed so fast now
Mm-hmm.
today that if you don't run fast enough and you don't move in the right directions, you can be out of business very quickly. And
Mm-hmm.
that includes the big guys.
Mm-hmm.
Because look what IBM is still in business, but their computer business changed when Bill Gates came along. And then you had Google come along. And now you have Facebook who is here. So things change even for the biggest companies if
Mm-hmm.
they don't run fast enough and smart enough. So my
Mm-hmm.
uncertainty level, which is what drives me, it remains at 10.
Okay, like it may sound weird, but like it's kind of relieving for me because I feel like 10 as well. So thank you. So my next question is, so what was your strategy to manage that uncertainty? How did you deal with? How did you cope with that?
This is one of the problems of being an entrepreneur, and also one of the thrills. You don't sleep very much because in your mind, your business is always there. It's always churning. It's always turning, and you learn over the years that no matter what you do, you're not going to displace the uncertainty that has to do. So you have to learn to manage that. You have to learn to have small wins, feel good about those small wins, but don't get so excited that you slow down.
Mm-hmm.
It's uncertainty is the hardest part, and for entrepreneurs, they have to really be able to take on that pressure. And some people can, and some people can't.
Okay. So so what was your tip like at that at the period that you perceive the uncertainty whenever you do? Like how did you manage it?
Man, I have to share it. One of the things that I do is I bring my teams in. My teams always know where we are.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't, as an entrepreneur, let your teams put the monkey on your back. In other words, if they come into my office with a problem, that's great. We love problems because that's how you build solutions. Problems are opportunities always. But you have, in order for you not to internalize all the pressure, you have to say to them, okay, so what did you think of? You have to share the responsibility among your team. If you're by yourself, you need to find somebody who can mentor or help you to see where the pressure is coming from, why you're feeling a certain way. Also to inspire you, because inspiration is what drives you. As soon as the negativity comes in and you allow that to eat away at you, you have to be, as an entrepreneur, glass half full. You have to be knowing that you're driving forward. If you let the negativity eat you, you can't manage all the uncertainty that goes with it. And this is why you see some of the entrepreneurs, they make a fortune, they lose a fortune. They make a fortune, they lose a fortune, because they're always driving forward, even sometimes at their own detriment, or a company that doesn't make it. But that's what they like to do. And that's what they live for it, actually.
So your strategy was like share it, don't internalize and like share and find someone to share and talk actual your emotions.
You have to have someone to share with, whether it's a spouse, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, or someone in the business. You have to have someone to share that pressure with, and someone who will support you in that.
Yeah.
Very, very important. And let your teams know where they are. Don't hide things from them. Tell them money is tight. Tell them we need to do these things. Share with them what you want to do. And also, as an entrepreneur, share the opportunity. In other words, if you do well, your team should do well too. If you share the opportunity and don't try to keep the big piece of the pie for yourself, your teams appreciate that, and they will take on some of the extra responsibility.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. And so my last question is, do you think you have more willingness to bear the uncertainty than the non-entrepreneur or other people?
Yeah, I mean, they call me the crazy gringo down here because, yes, I do. Good or bad, I have the ability to and I think it's innate in entrepreneurs to be able to drive things ahead even when they're tough, to come up with the solutions. I think one of the most important things that you have to remember in this is yes, you have to be able to take on that extra pressure, but two, the problems that you're trying to solve are usually very simple. In other words, there's simple things that are in front of you. Sometimes it takes you 6 months or 8 months to realize it, but once you do, you're like, oh my gosh, it was there the whole time. So, take on this piece, but also don't be afraid. Don't look for the hard solutions. Look for the easy, the simple things that are right in front of you. It will help ease the small wins, ease the pressure that you have inside. So my suggestion is to entrepreneurs, yes, it's going to be more pressure. Yes, some people can't live with this not having this secure roots or a job that's going to pay them every month or whatever it might be. That's part of it. You have to do that. Look for the simple wins. They help you get past the rough points.
Great. So you like naturally give your top tip for like moving forward despite uncertainty. So thanks very much for your sharing your experience and knowledge about like on entrepreneurship.
No
So
problem.
yeah, thank you very
I
much.
can tell you this, that it's one of the most rewarding things you can do in your life. And you will look back at the difficult times in a business that you turned into something successful.
Mm-hmm.
At the time you're going through it, you're like, I'm crazy. This is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look back, you think those are the best times I ever had building
Wow.
something.
Wow.
And so if you have the mindset to be an entrepreneur, get your feet moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
Get started. Get things going. Go
Mm-hmm.
east and west. Know where north is.
Mm-hmm.
Take on the responsibility, and I think if you can do that, you will get the fulfillment and enjoyment of what being an entrepreneur is.
Okay, beautiful. Really, thank you very much. And yeah,
Thanks
thank
for your
you.
time.
Yeah, thanks for your time, and like hope everyone who see this would enjoy this.
Thanks a lot.
Bye. Thank you, John.
Bye.